A 2022 study followed 1,702 adults for 7 years. The ones who couldn't stand on one leg for 10 seconds were 84% more likely to die, not just from falls, but from any cause: cancer, heart disease, respiratory failure, any cause. That is one simple test you can take right now. Stand near a wall. Lift 1 foot a few inches off the ground, arms at your sides, eyes forward. Hold. 10 seconds. If you made it, good. If you didn't, don't panic. That's not failure. That's data. And data is how we fix things. Here's why that test tells us so much. Balance isn't about your legs. It's a real-time report on 3 systems working simultaneously inside your body. The first is proprioception. Sensors in your muscles, tendons, and joints that send your brain a continuous map of where your body is in space. As we age, the signal weakens. The second is your vestibular system, the inner ear, detecting orientation and movement. When it degrades, your horizon becomes unstable. The third is vision, which cross-checks and verifies the other 2. When you balance with your eyes closed, your score drops dramatically. Vision is a crutch, and over time, it compensates for the other 2 systems declining underneath it. All 3 are coordinated by the cerebellum, a structure at the base of your brain that fires hundreds of neural signals per second to keep you upright. When you stand on one leg for 10 seconds, you're testing all of it simultaneously. The speed of your brain's processing, the health of your neural pathways, the integrity of your cardiovascular system, because blood must reach those pathways on demand. One leg, 10 seconds, 3 systems. That's why it predicts survival. Now let's talk about the study. It was published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine. Lead author, Dr. Claudio Gil Araujo, with collaborators from the UK, US, Australia, and Finland. The data came from 1,702 adults aged 51 to 75, tracked over a median of 7 years. 20% failed the test, 1 in 5. But the failure rate wasn't uniform. Among 51 to 55-year-olds, just 5% failed. By 66 to 70, it was 37%. Over 70, more than half couldn't hold 10 seconds. During the follow-up period, 123 people died, 7.2% of the total. Among those who passed, 4.6% died. Among those who failed, 17.5% died, nearly 4 times the mortality rate. After adjusting for age, sex, BMI, and existing conditions including cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and hypertension, the hazard ratio was still 1.84, an 84% higher risk of death independent of everything else your doctor already measures. And here's what surprised even the researchers. The causes of death in both groups were similar: cancer, heart disease, respiratory failure. The proportions were roughly the same. Poor balance didn't predict one specific disease, it predicted all of them. It's measuring overall biological resilience. Now here's the connection most people miss. In the group that failed, type 2 diabetes was 3 times more common, 38% versus 13%. Diabetes damages peripheral nerves. Those are the exact nerves that carry proprioceptive signals. Cardiovascular disease reduces blood flow to the cerebellum. Hypertension stiffens arteries, starving the systems that feed your balance. Poor balance is a symptom of a body under stress, not just a fall risk. So what do you do about it? 5 exercises. These address all 3 balance systems simultaneously. 1. Single leg stance progression. Exactly what the test asked, but practice daily. Week 1. 10 seconds per leg, 3 sets each side, near a wall. Week 2. 20 seconds. Week 3. Eyes closed for 5 seconds. The closed eye variation removes the visual crutch and forces your proprioceptive and vestibular systems to work harder. Measurable improvement in 4 to 6 weeks. 2. Heel-to-toe walking. Place one foot directly in front of the other, heel touching toe, 20 steps. Turn and repeat. This is used in neurological exams because it challenges dynamic balance and gait coordination simultaneously. 2 rounds, 3 times a week. 3. Wobble board training. Around $30 on Amazon, and the research behind it is solid. Stand on it with 2 feet first, then progress to single leg stances. The unstable surface forces your proprioceptors to fire at a higher rate, accelerating adaptation. Studies show unstable surface training produces postural control equivalent to being 10 years younger. 4. Yoga tree pose. Stand on one leg, sole of the opposite foot against your inner calf or thigh, never the knee. Hands at the chest or raised overhead. Hold 30 to 60 seconds. The upper body positioning shifts your center of gravity and demands constant micro-adjustments, building hip stability and core engagement that a simple balance stand doesn't replicate. 5. Tai Chi. This is not a gentle hobby, it's an evidence-based intervention. A systematic review of multiple randomized controlled trials found Tai Chi reduces falls in older adults by 31 to 58%. It combines slow, controlled weight-shifting movements with constant proprioceptive and vestibular challenge. 2 to 3 sessions per week is enough to see measurable gains. Here's what the timeline looks like. 4 to 6 weeks of consistent practice, improved confidence and stability. The wobble decreases. Corrections come faster. 8 to 12 weeks, measurable improvement in balance test scores. In a Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience study, subjects who trained just twice a week for 10 weeks showed postural control equal to people 10 years younger. The most important thing to understand, your balance trajectory is not fixed. The nervous system retains plasticity well into your 70s and 80s. Proprioceptive sensitivity can be retrained. Cerebellar pathways strengthen when you challenge them. 1,702 people, 7 years, 1 10-second test. The difference between those who passed and those who failed was not about genetics or youth. It was about the accumulated state of 3 biological systems. Systems that respond to training, that adapt to challenge, that improve when you give them a reason to. You know your number now, and you have 5 specific things you can start today. If this kind of science, real studies, real numbers, is useful to you, subscribe. We publish every week. Live longer, live better, live sharp.